the Miami Heat have been unbeaten all postseason and South Beach. But the Boston Celtics went into game four and it was like, oh, that's getting ready to end tonight. Could not get the sweep on the Celtics. Happy to say that Celtics pride looked like it showed up.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I really thought this was going to be a sweep. I thought the series would be over and we would be guaranteed a Nuggets and Heat matchup for the NBA Finals, but we don't have that just yet.
No, not yet.
Boston came in and said, well, excuse me, Jason Tatum came in and said, no, not, no, you won't sweep us.
Right. You
We
know,
won't get
as
swept.
as great as Jason Tatum has been, mainly like in the second halves of these
Hmm.
games. You know, he had a fantastic fourth quarter, I think, in the other series and then this series. But I need him to start the game with that type of energy and focus. I mean, what the second half, the Boston Celtics outscored the Miami Heat like in the third quarter and the fourth quarter. Why can't that be a consistent theme amongst this series?
I think that's a hole in his game. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
consistently shown up where he is unable to actually get it going in the first half. What? You know what? So his team is relying on the fans, the front office, his coaching staff is relying on Jason Tatum to get it together in the second half. You're not always guaranteed a win that way.
Right, especially against the Miami Heat, locked down on defense.
Yeah, I don't know if that is sustainable and if that is a success to win the NBA title.
No, no. And if they make it out of this series, which it would take a miraculous comeback, right? But if they were to make it out of this series, it's definitely not going to work against the Denver Nuggets. You just can't. You got KCP who can lock down. Bruce Brown can lock down on defense as well. He has to start the games, and not only just him though, but Jalen Brown. I just feel like he doesn't want to be in Boston anymore, and it's showing up in his
Mm.
play.
Yeah, I Jalen Brown was one of the guys I thought earlier in the season, late in the season, regular season, and then especially what he displayed in 2022 when they did their NBA Finals run. I'm like, yeah, he got some dog in him. Like he can get it together. Now he may not be considered Boston's number one, but he was a formidable number two for sure.
Oh,
Now
absolutely.
I'm just like he uh-uh. You know what? I think again, I said it in previous discussions, something is going on with Jalen Brown, and I really believe that. And part of it probably has to be deal with he just don't want to be in Boston, as you mentioned, anymore. And rightfully so if he start I hate that he's feeling that way now when they are so close. Well, they were so close to going to the NBA finals that he could really still hunt for another chip for this season. But how many more times do you have to deal with a team or a organization that keeps shopping you out? So
Hmm.
maybe it's just Philly finally all came to the surface, and he's like, let me just go and get this over with real quick.
Yeah, and that's what it's looking like. Malcolm Brogdon, I was looking for him to have a comeback game because he dropped a donut in game three. And then I said, oh, game four. Oh, nice. What do you have? Like two little points. I don't know
Hmm.
what's going on with Malcolm Brogdon. He was in the media saying something about their defensive intensity hasn't been consistent all season long. I don't know why he would say that to the media, and it's showing up in his game. Jason Tatum's just not getting the help and support that he needs. However, they are going back to TD Garden, so he'll have the fans, and it's going to be rocking in there for Game 5.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. They're going to be on their feet the whole game. If not, I'll be surprised. But
The Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler. I mean, he played it. He played an okay game, right? He scored 29 points or so, had a couple of assists and rebounds. That's his game. But it just seemed like the Miami Heat were turning the ball over more than I've witnessed in this series. And that was like, okay, are they locked in? Do they already think that this is going to be a win? It just gave me that feeling, especially in the first half. It seemed like they were like, oh, this is just a formality. We're going to go ahead and beat them. But Marcus Smart, he said, don't let us win one game. Don't let us win one
ooh,
game. I said, oh, shoot, maybe this is some momentum that they can use moving into game 5.
Okay. Will Boston be the one to be unprecedented? First team to come
Oh,
back from a 0-3 deficit? Will Boston be the one?
yeah. I mean,
Ooh.
it's going to happen at some point. You know, these are professional basketball players.
Yeah, of course.
Eventually,
Of
some
course.
team is going to come back from an 0-3 deficit, one
Of
game at a
course.
time, you know?
Ooh, but on Miami and the way they've been playing in this postseason, that ain't gonna be a good look for Miami. Miami can't let that happen.
I know, I know.
And when you're speaking of turnovers, I mean, Miami allowed Boston to get 27 points off turnovers just
Mm-hmm.
alone. So, they got to protect the ball. That's for sure.
Yeah. So moving into game five, what are some of the things that you think Coach Missoula can do to kind of ride on this wave and winning one game? I know it's got to feel good to finally
Yeah.
finally win a game in this series.
You know what? Yeah, and I think it'll bring back the chemistry that we have been all anticipating that the Boston Celtics would bring this particular series. And I think that we will see more effort on defense in game five. I mean, now that they got that one game, as Marcus Smart mentioned, getting game two is in the foreseeable future for sure. So I think that we'll see more lockdown on defense. I am still waiting, although Jaylen Brown does have the appearance that he doesn't want to be there anymore. I'm still waiting for him to have a breakout game this series. And maybe game five will be the one to really help support Jason Tatum, you know, close out game five as well. Because if they get game five, ooh,
Yeah,
mm,
yeah. It'll be 3-2 in the series, and then all it takes is one more win on the road in South Beach, and now they get to play at home for game seven. So if they can just take this in small chunks, right?
yeah,
One game at a time, I think it's doable, but the Miami Heat are just too good. They
yeah,
really are. They just got caught slipping, caught off guard last night. I don't expect that to happen again.
yeah. And then when I was watching Eric Spoelstra in the post game interview, I was like, ooh, Eric Spoelstra was like, I got this. He gave me the impression that, okay, they got us, but they won't get us again.
Yeah.
Just the way he was answering the questions, how he identified, where their gaps were, the Miami Heat gaps were in this game four uh, matchup. But he didn't give me the impression that they're gonna let another one slip. Nah, this ain't nothing for
Hmm.
them. They didn't even. He didn't even appear shook, to be honest.
Oh yeah, Eric's supposed to been around. He ain't new to this either. So,
Mm-mm.
we don't have any games tonight because the Western Conference is already sold up. Oh, that's disappointing.
No, the outcome is exactly what it should have been. Go Denver Nuggets.
No, I'm with you on that though, but I want to see some basketball. I didn't want to. I'm glad the Eastern Conference wasn't a sweep. You
Yeah,
know.
no, I agree. I agree.
Hmm.
I agree. So we got our next discussion about the game will be on Friday because the Miami Heat play again on Thursday. Miami Heat and Boston play again on Thursday.